Hi, and welcome back to Inspired Alchemy with Lizzie. This is episode 64. I feel like a whole lifetime has happened since I recorded one. I guess that's what happens when you only record one a week. And the one I set to record last week, I recorded 2 weeks ago. So, honestly, I know that I say this on a lot of the episodes, but I really don't know where today's episode is going to go. It took me a really long time to try to even get my microphone to work and all of that stuff. I knew that there was going to be resistance to it today. I could feel it, and I don't know. We'll just see where it goes. So, I will update you a little bit on where I was the week that I set the last episode to record for Thanksgiving. I was not expecting to go on a trip. It was a last minute trip and went to North Carolina, the place I was actually born. I didn't go to the actual area that I was born, but went up into the mountains. And Asheville is a place that I have always been called to. And a lot of the time when I'm called to places, I also have a lot of resistance. So this whole trip, just like my trip to New Orleans, which I can't even remember if I've talked about New Orleans or not and how important it has been in my life, but I think I have. My brain is really mushy right now. There's so much going on. But I had I had always wanted to go to Asheville. I don't know why. I still am not sure why I had to go there. But we stayed in a place called Hendersonville, and Hendersonville is really, really cute. Um, we did stay in an Airbnb, and not to get spooky or anything, because I know Appalachia is known for the spooky and the weird and all of that kind of stuff. But there was some stuff that happened in the Airbnb. And I'm not going to get too into it, but it is activity I have never experienced in my life, ever. I'm all for spooky and stuff until things start to fly across rooms. It really was a cute Airbnb, and I would stay there again because it was amazing and the host was amazing and all of that. Hendersonville itself is really cute, but oh, maybe this is the direction in which this is going to go. Maybe I'm just going to tell you about my trip and kind of tie it in to end of the year kind of heaviness that's happening in everybody's lives. Anyways, we stayed in Hendersonville, and Hendersonville, I was like, oh, I've never really heard of that town before. But then the more I say the name, the more I'm like, I think that family used to talk about this place. It's like a distant memory that you're trying to grab at, but you can't. It kind of feels like that. And so the downtown is really cute, but as soon as we got there, it was like, this is really weird. I've been here before. And there was like all this deja vu stuff that was happening, and it was really, really crazy. And to be quite honest, it was uncomfortable. It felt really weird for my particular energy to be in a place that I've never been, as far as I know, in this lifetime. It kind of felt like, and if I'm going to get woo about things, because this is what happens, I don't really talk about it much, but it felt like timelines were intersecting and that I was existing in more than one time in that specific moment and spot. It was really strange. And the whole trip is not as much of a blur as my trip to New Orleans, it's still like kind of crazy. I might have talked about why we were going on that trip. We set it up as I'm going to say in parentheses, hunting trip. If you've ever seen this show Supernatural, I might have touched on this. Forgive me if I did not, or if I did. I can't remember. But Supernatural is a TV show, and if you don't know what it is, it's about two brothers who hunt monsters, pretty much. And so we thought it would be really fun to set that up for my daughter. And it was really cool. We visited a tower that she had been wanting to go to. It's like a lookout tower that they used to use for fire lookout, but it's decommissioned now. Um, and that was the first day. And we went to a lot of different places. I'm trying to like remember because, like I said, it's kind of blurry. But we also went to a place called, I believe it's Looking Glass Falls, and it was really beautiful. Being in the mountains are alive. If you have never been to the mountains, I highly suggest going. And I'm not just talking about the Blue Ridge, Appalachia, I'm talking about in general. Appalachia itself, while not the oldest mountain range, is a pretty old mountain range. And that's where they say all the folklore comes from, because these mountains are old. And they hold a lot of history and they hold a lot of energy. And I might jump around a little bit from here from time to time. But these mountains are, I've never felt anything like it. And I've been in mountains before. I've been in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, but this felt very different. It felt like, I don't know, it gave me strength, and it gave me the ability to do things that I didn't normally think that I could do. And so, anyways, on this trip, we had different places that we were supposed to visit. And one of the places was called Craggy Gardens, I believe. Now, this area is still very devastated from the hurricane that went through Asheville. But they've cleaned up everything. It's still really beautiful. So if you get a chance to go to Asheville, please go and do that. The tourism helps rebuild the area. So we went to that that space, craggy gardens. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. And we pulled up there, and I was like, I wasn't aware that we were even going to make it here. Yeah, it's on the list, but I didn't know that it was on our way to where we were headed, which is Mount Mitchell. Mount Mitchell is the highest point east of the Mississippi. It's at an elevation of 6,684 feet. Super cool to see these mountains, to see and feel the history, and to feel everything that's alive, and to be in the waterfalls and and in the rivers and streams of these old mountains. The energy is just, there's nothing like it. Like, it's phenomenal. It makes me want to go to mountain ranges that are even freaking older. So anyways, we get there, and I automatically, I'm like, oh, I don't know, this feels kind of weird. And we see people like coming up, and I guess they were rock hunting because North Carolina is known for so many different types of stones, which is really cool. I picked up stones off the side of the road, and they happen to be gemstones, like rough gemstones. And so you see people with the buckets and stuff, and we start to go up this trail, and I'm like, I'm not supposed to go this way. I don't I don't feel like I'm supposed to go this way. But of course, I didn't trust my intuition, and I started to walk again. And all of a sudden, I was like, "Oh my god, ow." Now, all the trees they've pretty much lost their leaves by now. And I look down at my hand, and I'm bleeding. I'm like, "Oh, I guess the mountains want an offering." And I laughed to myself. Kind of laughing, kind of not laughing, really curious about what had just happened. Because I didn't touch a tree. I didn't grab onto anything to pull myself up. It wasn't any of that. I don't know how this happened, but I felt like when I pricked my finger, and this is going to sound really weird. So everybody take this for what it is because I am in a very weird spot right now. So I pricked my finger on this tree that just has huge thorns. But I didn't touch the tree. I just barely probably grazed it. And I'm like, oh, it's like when Sleeping Beauty pricks her finger and she goes to sleep. But my automatic thought was, I pricked my finger and I'm waking up. What a weird thought to have, right? So we ended up making it up to Mount Mitchell, and it's really pretty. The forests, I haven't been to the Pacific Northwest, although it is on my list of things to do. But some of the trees really reminded me of pictures from up there. And I guess it's probably the elevation. I'm not quite sure. But it was really beautiful and it felt so peaceful and so quiet. So that was that adventure. Now, we did go to actual like downtown Asheville, and the closer we got to Asheville, the more resistance I felt, the more cranky I felt, the more, which I know means that there's something for me there. We get there and I'm like kind of in a daze. I'm like, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what I'm supposed to be understanding. I'm not sure. Yes, we did go to a couple spooky places. We went to Helen's Bridge, which I don't, I mean, yes, I get creeped out, but at the same time, this place was, it was interesting. Not a place you want to stay, period. Um, but yeah, I'm not going to even go into that particular thing. I guess my cat thinks I probably shouldn't talk about it either. But we get to Asheville and we park, and we ended up passing this really strange, like, he had really weird energy. It was a gentleman that we passed by, and it felt very weird. And he looked at me like he knew me. It was it was really odd. But he gave me like the heebie jeebies. Um, so that was one of the weird things that happened. But going into Asheville itself, I still don't know why I had so much resistance. Only time will tell, because when I have things like this happen, it eventually shows itself. So that was the night after Mount Mitchell. I'm sorry, no. Mount Mitchell happened after all of that. See, it's blurry and I just got back. um that happened the night after we went to the Looking Glass Falls and things like that. We visited a really cute place called the Raven and Crone in Asheville, which the second time I went to Asheville I felt a little bit better. It was just that first initial response of like resistance, and I'm still not sure why I had it. The second time I still felt resistance, but I felt a little bit better. But Raven and Crone is a really cute metaphysical shop in Asheville. So if you get to go, it's fantastic. They have such a variety of things. Um, but we did all kinds of things while we were up there, even though it was a really short trip. Uh, going, like being in downtown Hendersonville was very interesting because I felt like I had been there before. And the trip was just really, it was really cool. Not something I was expecting, but I got a lot out of it. Um, There's always things that ruminate inside my brain. The interesting thing is the day that I was leaving, and this has happened to me before, where I go on a trip or I do something that I had been resisting or whatever, and then my body decides that it wants to purge. I'm not going to get graphic here, but let's just say that's the sickest I've been in many, many years. I I I don't know what happened. I started feeling a little bit sick the night before I left, and I'm like, oh, maybe I ate food that was too rich or something because I had pasta. and I don't normally eat heavy things like that. But the next morning, I had to actually ask the host of the Airbnb. I'm like, hey, can I have an extra hour, please? And it wasn't until I got home that I'm like, oh my goodness, my body was purging something. Well, I don't know if it was emotions. I don't know if it was memories. I don't know what it was. I can't tell you. But it's not the first time that it's happened. And I didn't realize it at the time. I thought, oh, maybe it was food poisoning, which it very well could have been. Maybe it was something else. I'm not sure. Nobody else got sick. Um, but I hadn't been that sick in a really long time. And the only thing that I can think is part of it was energetic. Because right now my life is shifting and pivoting in huge ways that I'm like just trying to hold on here. But I know that's the same for so many people that I've talked to. And while I wasn't expecting to make this trip, especially a couple days after my 41st birthday, I'm grateful for it because it was necessary, not just for me, um, but in general. And yeah, I'm I'm still at a place where I'm still trying to regather myself after being sick and trying to wrap my head around everything that has happened even since the trip. Because we got back and then automatically I had to prepare for Thanksgiving. And we had um, some friends over, and it was very, very beautiful to hear laughter in my house, like there was. And it gave me hope for Black Cathedral. And it is my hope one day to have a space where there will be laughter like that. And we will have events and we will have community and we will work through energetics and all of that stuff together. But it will come in time. We can't see the path right now, but it will eventually show itself. All we have to do is keep going. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that I'm supposed to share. If you guys want to hear about any of my spooky stories from being up there, I can tell you. We were up there hunting cryptids and just feeling the energy of the mountains. And man, it was really cool. Um, yeah, I don't think there's anything else for me to share. And if there is, I can't think of it right now. Thank you for being here in my mess. I can't promise it's not going to get messier. It might as I shift and grow through life. And these new ways of being and growing into myself and who I'm meant to be as Black Cathedral shifts and inspired alchemy shifts and all of these things. I can't promise you that this won't get messier. But if you stick around for the mess, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here with me. I do not take it lightly. I know that time is a precious resource that we can't get back, but we can make the best of what we have right now. And you being here with me for that time, however much you spend with me, I appreciate it. And I don't take it for granted. I'm hoping by sharing my story, sharing my mess, all of these things, that it gives you the permission to to know that it's okay to be messy and to know you're fully accepted in all of that mess. Being a human is not easy. I want you to know that you're not broken. In a society that was not built for humans, it likes to say that if we don't do things a certain way, if we don't act a certain way, don't dress a certain way, don't believe a certain thing, that we are not worthy and we are not deserving, and that there is something wrong with us, especially if we have neurospicy brains. And that's not the case. You're not broken. We tend to disconnect when things get too much. It's time to reconnect. Because at the core, you're not disconnected. And we are not divided. It's time to reconnect to yourself. It's time to reconnect to the earth, to nature, to each other. And it's time to rise. Thank you for being here. This is Inspired Perpetual Alchemy. I know things are challenging right now. Keep going, alchemist. If you're here, you're an alchemist. You've got this. Keep creating alchemy.